Alright, everybody, so we are back with TEW9, the War of Immortals save, the WWF Classics. We are here with tonight's episode of WWFC Prime Time, so let's take a look at last week's episode before we jump in to this week's episode. So, one of the pre-show matches was Big John Studd and Kamala taking on the Killer Bees. Genichiro Tenryu defeated Bad News Brown. We had Bobby Heenan and Tony talking about the match card, running everything down. We had Demolition defeating Cowboy Bob Orton and Magnificent Morocco. We had an abysmal promo from the Freebirds talking about Arn and Tully. We had the Great Muta defeat Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Piper talking about who is going to be his next opponent. Then we had the Midnight Express defeat the Fabulous Freebirds. We had Jerry Lawler making fun of Andre the Giant. Then we had Jerry beat Ken Patera. We had an unknown wrestler cutting a promo about the Texas Tornado, saying how he is going to get his hands on him at the upcoming Saturday night's main event on July the 20th. Then we had the Texas Tornado and Harley Race defeat the New Horsemen, Barry Windham and Sid Vicious. We had Rick Martel talk about the future, but the things he had planned, since winning the King of the Ring. Then we had Arn and Tully defeat Strike Force. We had Arn and Tully talk about the Freebirds, saying, you guys do a lot of talking, but we don't ever see you in action or anything. And then we had Andre and Hulk defeat the Islanders. We had Jay Mitchell giving another warning to Primetime, saying, Muta's not going to sit back very much longer. He's going to be coming for somebody. Then we had Piper take on Bam Bam Bigelow and retain his WWFC championship. Then, after the match was finished, Muta laid out Piper, spit that mist right in his face. So, at the upcoming Saturday night's main event, we will see Piper take on Muta for the title. So, that was last week's episode. I am going to go ahead and book this week's episode, so I will be right back. Alright, everybody, so we have the show booked. We are going to start everything right now with our pre-show match. In a decent pre-show match, Tenryu defeated Bob Orton Jr. in 11:20 by pinfall with a powerbomb. The crowd heat is expected. Simmering, the wrestling rating got a 63. The crowd rating got a 47. The segment got a 68. Bob Orton Jr. got a 58. Tenryu got a 67. The commentary quality lifted the match. The color commentary gave it a boost as well. So let's head to our first segment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Primetime Wrestling here on WWFC. We've got an absolutely stacked card for you tonight, and it's building up to some explosive matches you won't want to miss. Oh, Tony, you've got that right. We got some of the greatest talent in the world here tonight. First up, we got two men who have been fighting legends for years. Arn Anderson versus Terry Gordy. Oh, it's going to be a slobber knocker, Tony. Arn Anderson, a man of precision and skill, and Gordy, he's a wrecking machine, Tony. A true destructive force in that ring. This one's going to be a war. That's right, Bobby, and in our main event, we got Roddy Piper and Harley Race teaming up to face Barry Windham and the Great Muta. This one's a real clash of styles, Bobby. You've got the viciousness of Roddy Piper and Harley Race against the raw power of Barry Windham and the mysterious and dangerous Great Muta. Can Piper and Race coexist, Bobby? Can Windham and Muta work as a team? Piper and Race, please, Tony. These two men may be tough, but they're no match for the combined talent of Barry Windham and the Great Muta. Windham, a future champion, and Muta, don't even get me started. This man's a force of nature, Tony. No one can stop him. This match, it's gonna be a statement. And the statement is, the New Horseman is on top. Well, Bobby, I don't know about that, but I know we're also going to witness some amazing single action tonight. Andre takes on Bad News Brown in a matchup of Raw Power versus Street Smart. Andre's with the Giant, but Bad News is one of the most dangerous men in the business. Can the Giant keep up with Bad News' aggression? Bad News Brown, please. He's got the street smarts, Tony, but he's about to find out why they call Andre the Giant the greatest to ever step foot in the ring. Bad News doesn't have a chance against a man like Andre. It's not about street smarts, Tony. It's about power, and nobody has more power than the Giant. Bad News is about to get an education. And folks, stay tuned, because after all the action, we'll hear from the man himself, Bobby Heenan. He's got something to say, and knowing you, Bobby, it's going to be something big. Oh, don't you worry, Tony. What I've got to say tonight is going to change everything in the WWFC. You'll hear from me when I'm ready, and trust me, it's going to be worth the wait. Primetime Wrestling is going to see something it's never seen before. Well, folks, it's going to be a wild night, and we're just getting started. Stick with us for all the action right here on Primetime Wrestling. So the crowd heat is hot and rising. I'd advanced all our storylines. Bobby Heenan benefited from having a hot catchphrase. The angle got the crowd hotter, and this angle got the show off to a strong start. We also got an 85 for this, so that's a very good way to start off the show. So let's head to our first match of the night. In a decent match, Greg Valentine and Big John Studd defeated George the Animal Steele and Rugged Ronnie Garvin in 10:15 when Big John Studd pinned Rugged Ronnie Garvin with a heart punch. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating got a 55. The crowd rating got a 59. The segment got a 65. Big John Studd had a 59. Greg Valentine had a 47. Rugged Ronnie Garvin had a 50. And George the Animal Steele had a 62. It advanced the Valentine-Garvin-Steele storyline. The commentary quality lifted the match. The color commentary gave it a boost. And Teddy Long did good work at ringside. So let's head to the next segment here. Jerry Lawler, you have made a very big mistake. You opened your mouth last week and said things that you shouldn't have. You thought you could disrespect me, talk down to me, mock me, but now you're going to pay for it. You may be a king in your little world, Lawler, but in my world, there is only one giant, and that's me. I've been patient with you, but now you've crossed the line. Now you'll face the consequences of your words. I'm going to hurt you, Lawler, and I'm going to make you regret everything you said about me. I'm going to show you what happens when you poke the bear, when you try to play in a game you have no business in. You are nothing but a small man, and I will show you how easily a giant like me can crush someone like you. At Saturday night's main event, it's not going to be just a fight, it's going to be a lesson. And you'll never forget the pain I'm going to inflict on you. You will never be the same after I'm done with you, Jerry Lawler. And when you look in the mirror, you will know I am the reason you are in so much pain. You are going to feel the four forces of a giant, and that's something you will never be able to escape. So, the crowd heat is white hot. The segment got us a 90. It advanced the Andre Jerry Lawler storyline, and the angle got the crowd a lot hotter. So, let's head to our next match. In a bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat, the Islanders defeated the Killer Bees in 9:41 when Haku pinned Jim Brunzell. Haku carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 52. The crowd rating got a 41. We got a 70. Tama had a 41. Haku had a 74. Jim Brunzell had a 47. Brian Blair had a 45. Haku and Tama showed excellent chemistry teaming together. They got a tag team bonus. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell got a tag team specialist bonus. Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan work extremely well together. The commentary quality lifted the match. The color commentary gave it a boost. And the performance of Haku stood out as being good. So let's head to the next segment. Barry Windham, you think you're untouchable, don't you? You've got that shiny little trinket wrapped around your waist, the WWFC United States Championship. But let me make one thing clear. Those days are numbered. You've been living on borrowed time, Barry. You've had your moment to shine, and you've been a fighting champion, and that's not gonna save you from what's coming. You see, I'm not some flash in the pan talent. I'm the king, and when the king comes knocking, it doesn't matter how big or bad you are, your reign is over. You've got that cocky smirk on your face, like you've earned everything that comes your way, like you're some kind of big deal. But you're about to find out that there's a world of pain waiting for you. I'm coming for that title, Barry. And when I do, your days as champion will be nothing but a faded memory. You're in my world now, Barry, and the king doesn't ask for what he wants, he takes it. So enjoy the belt while you still can, because at the end of this road, I'll be the one standing tall with the United States Championship draped over my shoulder. It's over for you, Wyndham. Your title reign ends when I say it ends, and trust me, it's ending soon. The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 91. It advanced the Barry Windham Harley Race storyline. Harley Race improvised well throughout the segment, and the angle idea that I chose was a success. So let's head to the next match. In a wild brawl that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Sid Vicious defeated Ken Patera in 7:36 by pinfall with a choke slam. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 70. The crowd rating is a 64. And the segment got us an 80. Sid had a 95. Ken Patera had a 59. The match suffered because there wasn't enough selling, and Sid Vicious benefited from having a hot new move. So I'm assuming that most of the bad stuff, lack of selling in the match length, yeah, okay. So that's not too bad. So let's head to our next segment here. Last week I got a little surprised, didn't I? The Great Muta, thinking he could just sneak up on me and attack me from behind. Well, guess what, Muta? You got me once, but you won't be getting me again. Not by a long shot. No. You see, Muta, I'm not the kind of man you attack and get away with it. Oh no. I've been in this business too long to let something like that slide. You, Muta, think you're some kind of mystical enigma, right? You think you could strike out of nowhere and leave your mark, but I'll tell you something you won't forget, pal. I got my own tricks. And I know how to fight dirty. I know how to bring the fight to a man who thinks he's untouchable. You see, Muta, there's something you don't understand. I've been in the trenches, I've been hit from behind, stabbed in the back, knocked down, and you know what? I've always gotten back up, and you, Muta, you're about to find out exactly what happens when you wake the sleeping bear. You got my attention now, and believe me, you don't want to keep it. So, Muta, here's the deal. I'm coming for you. One way or another, I'm not gonna let you get away with it. You'll regret the day you put your hands on me, because I'm gonna make you pay for every last bit of it. You wanna fight dirty? You want to attack me from behind? Well, let's see how you like it. When I get my hands on you, Muta, I'll show you what happens when you mess with Roddy Piper. You got a date with Destiny, Muta, and that date is coming soon. Whether you like it or not, so buckle up, because you're going to get a lesson in Piper style. And that means pain, pal. A whole lot of it. I hope you're ready, Muta, because when I'm done with you, you'll wish you never crossed the rowdy one. The crowd heat at the end is very hot. The segment got us a 92. It advanced the Piper Great Muta storyline. Piper clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and perform well, and Roddy Piper benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So, let's go to our next match here. Not too bad. In a decent match, Andre the Giant defeated Bad News Brown in 10:22 by pinfall with a butt drop. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 69. The crowd rating is a 68. The segment got a 73. Andre got a 73. Bad News Brown got a 64. It advanced our Andre Jerry Lawler storyline. There were times the lack of psychology was on display. Andre and Bad News Brown have pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match, and the color commentary gave it a boost as well. I actually didn't know they had good chemistry in matches, so that might be something to look a little more down the line again. So, let's head to the next segment here. Well, well, well. It looks like we got a little challenge on our hands, don't we? Demolition. Huh. You think you can just waltz into the picture and challenge the Midnight Express for the WWFC World Tag Team titles? Well, let me tell you something, boys. You made a huge mistake, and trust me, I'm going to make sure you regret it. Now, I know Demolition's been making a lot of noise lately, claiming they want these titles. They think they're going to come in here, put on their little leather jackets and intimidate us with their silly face painting over the top antics. But you see, the Midnight Express don't get intimidated by cheap theatrics. No, no, no. We're the best damn tag team in this company, and nobody is going to take these titles from us. Look at these two men, folks. Look at them. Bobby Eaton, the beautiful Bobby Eaton, the man who's made a career out of leaving bodies in the ring, and Stan Lane, the most dangerous man in tag team wrestling today. Together, they're the Midnight Express. We've been through wars, we've fought the best, and now we're ready to put Demolition in their place. Demolition, you want these titles? You want to walk into the ring on July 20th at Saturday night's main event and take what's ours? Well, you better be ready, because we don't play games, and we don't take kindly to your kind. You'll find out just how quick we can end this and leave you with nothing but bruises and regrets. The Midnight Express is going to demolish Demolition, and it's not even going to be a fair fight. But then again, when was a fight with us ever fair? So listen up, Demolition. You better bring your A game, because on July 20th at Saturday night's main event, you're going to get more than you bargained for. And when the dust settles, you'll be looking at the champions, and you'll be wondering where you went wrong. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 69. That advanced the Midnight Express Demolition storyline. Jim Cornette clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well. The commentary quality lifted the segment. The color commentary gave it a boost, and Jim Cornette benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to our next match. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Strikeforce defeated the Midnight Express in 1542 when King Martel submitted Stan Lane with the Boston Crab. Stan Lane was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody. It wasn't too bad. The crowd heat at the end is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 73. The crowd rating is a 57. The segment got an 84. Tito had a 67. King Martel had an 87. Stan Lane had a 55. Bobby Eaton had an 85. It advanced the Midnight Express Demolition storyline. Stan Lane seemed off his game. Martel and Tito showed excellent chemistry. They got a tag team specialist bonus. Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane both have great chemistry with Jim Cornette, and the match got the crowd buzzing. So let's head to the next segment. Yes. There we go. Okay. For the last few weeks, the wrestling world has been buzzing, whispering, wondering who the new horsemen were scouting, who we were watching. You see, when it comes to the horsemen, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, Sid Vicious, we don't just add anyone to our circle. No. Greatness demands greatness. And now the wait is over. The search is done. We found the man who checks every box. Dangerous, disciplined, ruthless. A man who walks into a room and makes everyone else question if they belong. And let me tell you, He's not coming to play nice. At Saturday night's main event, July 20th, the newest member of the New Horsemen will make his debut in the WWFC. And when he does, the game changes, the landscape shifts, and everybody in the back better start sleeping with one eye open. Because we just added a warhorse to the stable. This is your warning. The horsemen aren't just riding anymore, we're conquering. And after Saturday night's main event, there'll be no doubt we run this place. Well, the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 92. It advanced the Barry Windham Harley Race storyline and the Horsemen and the Freebirds storyline. Bobby Heenan improvised well throughout the segment, and Bobby Heenan benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to the next match. Oh man, I expected so much more from this one. In a wild brawl that had great wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Arn Anderson defeated Terry Gordy in 12:08 by pinfall with the Spinebuster. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got an 80. The crowd rating got a 62. The segment got us an 83. Arn had a 92. Terry had a 67. Had advanced the Horseman Freebird storyline, and Michael Hayes did good work at ringside as well. So, man, I really thought this would get like at least an 85, but an 83, that's not too horrible. So let's head to our next segment here. Texas Tornado. I know you've heard the whispers. I know you heard the talk, and you're probably wondering when the storm's gonna hit, huh? Well, let me tell you something. You're not gonna see it coming. You're not going to see chaos coming, because I'm the beast, a wild, untamed animal, and I don't play by your rules. You see, when I get my hands on you, Tornado, it's not going to be pretty. July the 20th, Saturday night's main event, the day your luck runs out. I've been counting down the days, counting down the hours until I get you in the ring, until I get my hands around your neck and make you feel pain. Only I can deliver. You think you're some kind of hero in Texas, don't you, Tornado? You think you got some kind of magic, but guess what? I'm not impressed. I'm not some rookie who's gonna cower in fear of your little spinning antics. No. You're gonna meet the most violent force in wrestling, and I'll show you exactly what happens when you poke the beast. You're gonna learn the hard way that Unknown doesn't fear anyone, especially for you. So you better start counting down the days, Tornado. Because the moment the bell rings at Saturday night's main event, your world is gonna spin out of control. And when it's all said and done, you'll wish you never crossed paths with me. The storm's coming, and there's nothing you can do, or there's nowhere for you to run. So the crowd heat's very hot. The segment got a 74. Another video promo from Unknown, warning the Texas Tornado. So the color commentary also gave it a boost. It also advanced our storyline. And we're a little less than a month away from finding out who Unknown is. So let's hit our next match, which is the Texas Tornadoes match. In a decent match, the Texas Tornado defeated Hiroshi Hase in 12:39 by pinfall. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 66. The crowd rating is a 58. The segment got us a 75. The Texas Tornado had a 66. Hiroshi Hase had a 65. Hase debuted his legitimate athlete gimmick, and it got an initial rating of great. It advanced the Texas Tornado versus Unknown storyline, and the color commentary gave the match a boost as well. So, let's head to the next promo. Roddy Piper, you think you're safe, don't you? You've been riding high, playing part of the People's Champion. But let me tell you something, Piper. That belt around your waist is no longer safe, because a far greater force has set its sights on you, and you've been marked. The Great Muta has a man who has seen the darkness and embraced it, has decided that he no longer wants to just be just a player in the WWFC. No. He wants to be the champion. And what better way to prove it than to take what is the most precious to you, Piper? You've had your time in the spotlight, Roddy, but now the shadows are closing in. The darkness you've been trying to outrun is here. The Great Muta is coming for the WWFC Championship. And when that night comes, you'll see just how much of a man you really are when Muta makes you tap into the reality you've been trying to ignore. Your time is up, Piper. The Great Muta is here. And when he takes that championship, you'll realize the darkness was always waiting for you. And there's no escaping it now. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 78. It advanced the Piper Muta storyline as well. So let's head to our main event. In a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, the Great Muta and Barry Windham defeated Harley Race and Roddy Piper in 15:53 when Barry Windham pinned Roddy Piper with his lariat. Roddy Piper carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is an 85. The crowd rating is an 81. We got an 85 for the segment. Piper had a 98. Harley Race had an 82. Barry Windham had an 82. And the Great Muta had a 78. The primetime, the Roddy Piper Muta storyline advanced. The Barry Windham Harley Race storyline advanced. Harley Race was off his game. And the Great Muta and James Mitchell are a pretty good pairing, and they play off each other well. So let's finish off our show here. We increased our popularity in 8 regions. We would have gained popularity in Canada, but we were restricted, so that means the Maritimes. Financial, we made $1.2 million. So we gained 1 in Puerto Rico and 1 in British Columbia. Well, that's not too bad. Okay, well, that is the end of this episode. I will see everybody in the next one.